Active Christians. I'm Steve.
I'm Jen, from somewhere in Sandpoint.
6 p.m.
Prime time, baby.
Because we can.
That person's getting better.
For today's show, we've got number 1, the poll.
Number 2, for starters, winners and losers.
Exciting stuff next for Idaho.
Boring stuff, meetings.
And we'll do a politician profile. We'll highlight a local politician, Mr. Cornell Razor. And lastly, if there's time left in the show, we will show you how to how to shovel snow.
Staying in.
Yeah. And bring in the firewood without ever hurting your back. First up, the poll. Let me do a little bit explaining. So this is our first show, and so we don't have a question. We have a few questions we want to ask you, but you're going to be commenting below.
But wait, if we already did have questions, what do you think it would have been?
How to change your...
No, not a how to. Oh. It's a poll question. Like, what would you pick out of these things?
Who has the best biscuits and gravy in Bonner County?
And what answer would you have made up for this if you were going to make up a poll that was already answered?
If we use that as a future question, it's going to skew the poll. It's not going to work.
Okay, but what would your favorite be?
My favorite right now?
Of what was it? The biscuits and gravy.
Biscuits and gravy.
In Sandpoint?
Yeah, in Sandpoint.
No, which place?
Sandpoint.
All of Sandpoint?
I'm kidding. I'm not answering that question. But we would like you to answer these questions, and below in the comments is where you will answer those. And next time we will review those, and
we'll put your real answers.
We really will.
Yeah.
So the questions for this week: were you surprised by the election results?
Are you happy with the election results? And would you rather be a commissioner, a legislator, a sheriff, or the President of the United States?
President of the United States.
You would not.
Yeah, probably not.
You would not. I know you'd pick. You'd pick sheriff.
She says that I would like to be sheriff.
If you had to do one of those.
If I had to pick one, but it would be, I'd be run out of office.
Yeah. The question isn't would you do a good job. The question is what would you do if you had to pick one.
I guess sheriff.
Because I know.
What about you?
Legislator. Because it's the most boring one. And that's one I pick.
You sound like you're the president of this whole thing. Well. Besides all that, we can't wait to hear your answers. Up next, for starters, Ron Korn.
Winner.
Brian Donkey.
Winner.
Mr. Jim Woodward.
Winner.
What about Mark Souter?
He also won.
Cornell Razor.
He is the winner.
What about Prop 1?
Loser, big loser. Prop 1 lost big. So Idaho, everybody knows about Prop 1 because y'all voted no on it. And they were coming in trying to change how we vote, and you guys cared down ballot so much, which is really impressive. Prop 1 got more no votes than even Donald Trump got in Idaho, which it's a big deal. You never see people care more about down ballot than president, but you did this time, and it's because we want our voting to stay secure for all of these elections going forward even.
Yeah.
So big deal.
The other side, gotta say, they were deceptive. They were saying that 275,000 veterans were disenfranchised because they couldn't take part in the primary. And an open primary was supposedly going to solve that. Did they even get 275,000 votes?
They did not.
No. Deception.
Yeah, they did not get that many.
Yeah. So, I would hope that was the last we are going to hear from him, but probably not. What about arson?
Arson is a big loser. So if you're thinking about burning down somebody's business because you're politically opposed to them, don't do it. That's not cool, and you'll end up in a nuthatch and in jail, and they are going to still go on to serve their community. They're going to serve their community in office. You're going to serve the community by community service. You know what I mean? Like, like don't burn people's army surplus store down.
Yeah. Unless you want hot dogs for breakfast, for lunch, and for dinner. Because that's what they serve in jail. Some variation of hot dogs. And I don't know what they serve in the Crazy Home, but it can't be much better. Besides all that nonsense, we got some exciting stuff. Who's that a picture of?
That is a picture of Luke Mayville from Reclaim Idaho, who I think looks like Tim Robbins.
From War of the Worlds?
Yeah?
From Shawshank Redemption?
Yeah, from Shawshank.
From Mystic River?
You haven't seen Mystic River.
But I have seen IMDb. And Tim Robbins is not what this story is about. So Luke Mayville is part of Reclaim Idaho, and they have more ballot initiatives up their sleeves. This time it's going to be a little bit different.
Yeah, you'd think you'd seen the end of them. The next things we hear coming up are abortion and marijuana. So figure out where you stand on that. Most of us know where we stand on abortion, but on legalized marijuana, any of us who are, say, like we are libertarian leaning, but we're Christians, so you're going to have to really think hard about how you feel and where you stand on the marijuana legalization, because I think we're going to see both of those coming up for vote probably in 2 years, but we're going to see it coming up. We're going to start hearing about it, and you may even have a petition pushed in front of you.
And it won't say abortion and marijuana. It will say something along the lines of healthcare and families. And that's the big deception. They try to argue that abortion is healthcare, or even that marijuana is healthcare. We're gonna have to be on our guard, and that's why we're here. We're going to be sharing as much information as we can about what comes up as quickly as we can. We'll get it out to you, so you can form those opinions.
Yeah,
and
you decide.
Yep, and figure out where you stand on that. Jenny, when you were growing up, you like eating vegetables?
Yeah. Yeah, vegetables are great.
No, they were the most boring part of dinner. And the next up, we have boring stuff.
Public Meetings Guided Tour. A school board meeting Tuesday, January 14th at 5:30 p.m.
That sounds exciting.
We're going to be there. You're going to be there. We're going to meet each other, and we'll show you around the place. And no, it is not going to be exciting. Do not let him trick you. It is going to be a snooze fest. It is a public meeting.
It's a board meeting, so
Yeah.
you will be bored.
Yeah.
But there is some exciting parts. You will see a board member selected by interview rather than election. And this happens when someone waits until after election time to retire, usually on purpose.
Yeah, so here's what happens. They could have retired in time for somebody else to run, and then you would have voted on the school board member, and these positions are supposed to be elected. But if it's not election time and somebody retires, then they're going to select somebody, and that's what's happening now. And it's convenient that they waited until right after the election. This happens all the time, especially with school board. They pull this stuff all the time. So
we would like to say it's the exception to the rule. This is the rule.
No, so go.
Oftentimes,
Yeah, so go and see if it's who you would pick. Listen, they're going to do interviews, and then they're going to deliberate at the public meeting. So go and see if they pick who you would have picked as the voter, and if not, why they're picking somebody different, why they subverted the process, and who they're putting in that is different from the will of the people.
This is the inside baseball you've been wanting. This is how you find out who is the what and what they're doing. Mm-hmm. So we dare you.
This is a scandalous one. It's going to be boring.
Yes.
It's still going to be boring, but it's a pretty big deal. You should be there.
And we dare you to drag your butt to this boring meeting.
Hold them accountable. It's a chore, but we're going to be there, so it's going to be pretty cool for you guys to get to meet us.
And we will.
And we'll meet you.
It's gonna be exciting. I think it's exciting once you get there. Okay, politician profile, Mr. Cornell Razor. Do you need cool army stuff?
Good news. He is gonna rebuild.
Yeah, his army surplus store was burned down. We spoke about arson earlier. He was attacked with it because he was running. It was politically motivated. That's everything points at that. But he's doing all right. It's no need to concern. As she said, he's going to be rebuilding the store, and he's a Christian.
Yeah, he's a Christian, and he's tough and compassionate, and he's doing all right. I know you guys are probably worried about him.
But you just elected him to State Legislature 1B. How old is he?
He is, I'm glad you asked, he is the same age as Tom Hanks, Mel Gibson, and Kenny G.
From the Regulator song? I can't believe I'm not in love anymore.
That's not even Regulator. That's Michael McDonald.
Yeah, but he teamed up with Warren G.
Okay.
Do you think they're related, Warren G and Kenny G?
None of them were related to Cornell Razor, I know that.
Yeah, but Kenny G, he had that one song, the...
Yeah, you guys remember that.
Yeah, from MASH.
Oh, MASH. Yeah, that's you brought it and tied it all around. That's the Army surplus, MASH. Good job.
Kenny G was not on MASH.
No.
He wasn't on MASH. But Cornell Razor.
Yeah, back to our politicians.
Yes, Cornell Razor used to be a county commissioner.
Yeah, you guys probably knew that.
Yeah, and he's been here in Sandpoint for 55 years, and he's been married for 48 years. He's got kids, grandkids.
He goes to church at Kootenai Community. He is a pastor.
Yeah, and his hobbies are hanging out with the kids, of course, grandkids, going shooting and hunting.
And piano playing. He has been playing the piano pretty much his whole life since he was a small child. It's very cool.
Yeah, I don't think you can shoot and play the piano at the same time.
But if anybody could, he is probably the most qualified.
Yeah. He's got some goals, and they are straightforward, and we're going to give them to you in layman's terms. No new taxes. He wants to get control of the state budget and
that is a top priority.
Priority, and lower it. And a lot of stuff about property tax. You're going to want to get a hold of him and ask him lots and lots of questions about it. And about shrinking government, because that's what he's about too. He is a true conservative. We're really happy to have him.
Yeah. Now, is there time for that last story?
We have another. Oh, about how to bring in firewood and shovel snow without ever hurting your back? Well, yeah, we got enough time. So the trick is, you're going to want to go get